Hey guys, it's Melissa with Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about soulmates. I know we talked about this before, but it keeps coming up again over and over again for me. And when you have a synchronicity like that, to me, it's just the universe is like, you need to talk about this. So there's a couple of things I didn't cover in the last podcast that I wanted to cover today. And this applies to everyone, because even if you've already found your soulmate and you're with someone and you're happy, or you are single and looking for a soulmate, or maybe you thought you found your soulmate and then that didn't work out and you're hoping that that can happen for you again, or you're going to reunite. This applies to everyone, really, because so often we have this misconception of what a soulmate is, and I talked about this before, but a soulmate is someone who is here to teach you a lesson, and it can be romantic or not. Soulmates are people that our soul recognizes that we made a pact to come here together to learn something. But often we think of romantic soulmates, and that's what I'm going to address today. So the messages that I've been receiving about romantic soulmates lately, there have been a few things. The first thing is, the reason that we come together with someone as a soulmate is because they are there to mirror in us those things that we need to change, the things we need to learn, and how we need to grow. So they mirror the things that we need to work on within ourselves, which is why a lot of people, when they say they're with their soulmate, I think everyone assumes like, oh, it's going to be all sunshine and roses and butterflies. It's going to be so happy. And yes, there are moments like that. But when you're in a true soulmate relationship, it's not easy. It's not perfect, because we are here to learn a lesson. And if everything was all rosy all of the time, what would you be learning? You wouldn't be learning anything. So I think to have this misconception that you should be happy all the time and it's just so easy and it's so great, and I don't think that's really true. It's not to say it has to be difficult, but I think that our soulmates are here to challenge us. They're here to teach us something. And it's usually something within us that we're not happy with, or something we need to change. So I can relate my own personal story to this. In my most recent relationship that was like long-term, there were a lot of really awesome things about it, but there were triggers that kept coming up for me. And what I realized was that these triggers were pointing out things within myself that I needed to work on. So when I stepped away from that relationship, I knew that I had to do work on myself. And I knew what my triggers were. For me, having been, the child of divorced parents, abandonment was a big issue. And so I had a tendency to be like clinging to something, scared that it was going to just go away. So I knew that was a trigger. Like, that's a trigger for me. So that's something I had to work on within myself. And there are a few other things too, but this is why we have to meet with these people, is because they are showing us the things within ourselves that we need to change or to work on, because we're here to grow and learn. And it's not like we're bad people and we have to change everyone. That's not what I mean. What I mean is they're here to show you the things within yourself you need to improve upon, where you need to grow, where you need to learn, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But we've talked about this before. Growth, when that happens, it's usually painful. And that's true. when you are in a constant state of just everything's fine, it's like getting comfortable, you don't learn anything. We don't grow because we don't have to. But when we're pushed outside our comfort zone, when we're shown, hey, this is a trigger for you for a reason, there's something you need to heal within yourself. Like you need to go back and forgive things that happened to you in your past. And that's what I had to do. I had to go back and look at my past. And it was awesome. I did that. But would I have done that if somebody hadn't been there to show that mirror in front of me and say, hey, this is what you're lacking. This is where you need to grow. No, I wouldn't have done that, right? I would have gone on the rest of my life like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, so what? My parents got divorced when I was little. It didn't bother me. Well, that's wrong. It did, and I had to deal with that. But in my family, we've become so accustomed to just sweep it under the rug. It's no big deal. You don't have to deal with it. Just try to clean up the mess. And that only works for so long. Like the problem is going to rear its ugly head in many different ways. Either you're going to turn to drinking or, some other form of numbing the pain. And there's many ways you can do that. Some people emotionally eat. Some people drink. Some people turn to drugs. You do something to take your mind off. You stay so busy that you don't have time to think about it. So you do that. So you numb the pain. You don't do anything about it, and then it just, when you are stressed and have so much piled on top of you, it just comes out. That's very common too. That's not dealing with it. That's pushing it down and hiding it, which is not good. We have to deal with our emotions. And so we have to deal with our past stuff because remember, this is all like karmic, right? If we don't deal with it now, you're going to deal with it later. You're going to deal with it at some point in your life. And you might as well deal with it now and get it over with instead of going through lifetime living the same problem or having the same issue, because that's what's going to happen. Like we have to resolve it some way or another. So that's, to me, that was what my twin flame or soulmate relationship was about. It was about resolving this issue that came up because it was like a mirror in front of my face. Like, here, I'm going to trigger you because you need to deal with this. And I wouldn't have known that I had that trigger had I not been in that relationship. So those are actually blessings. Even when it's painful and you don't see it as a blessing at the time, it is a blessing because it's a lesson. And it's teaching you what you need to resolve in order to move forward in your life. And the thing about soulmates is sometimes we don't always end up together because we have more than one. And you have more than one romantic soulmate in this lifetime. We do. And you may not end up with the one that you were thinking you would end up with, or you may have a break from that person and you may end up going back to that person, but the break was necessary because you had to have that break in order to grow, in order to change your circumstances, to change those problems in your life that you hadn't dealt with yet, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of this is resonating with you or makes sense, but this is what keeps coming up with me. I keep hearing this over and over, and it's really resonated with me because I really feel like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, I had this breakup, and then it was tremendous growth. Like, I'm unrecognizable as a person from where I was 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Like, it's amazing. And that wouldn't have happened had I not gone through that relationship, because that relationship is what was a mirror for me to say, this is what you need to work on. And it was what opened the path for my spiritual journey, which I never would have done. Or maybe I would have done it, but it would have been much later on because I didn't have any need at that point in my life to go on a spiritual journey. I was just like, yeah, life's great. It's fine. I'm here. But I was just, again, in my comfort zone. And the universe was like, no, you can't stay there. You got work to do. You've got a higher purpose. You are here because others need to hear your message. Others need you to step into your light. You're here for a reason. And that's true of all of you too. You're all here for a reason. And we just need those people in our lives who push us to see that we need to step into our purpose. And again, I think that our soulmates do that for us. So I'm going to leave you with one thing. I thought that I would pull a card from the Kuan Yin deck. So give me just 1 second here. I have a child here asking a question. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So that is the life of someone who is also a full-time parent. Sometimes things get interrupted, but that's okay. My children are worth it. So I'm going to pull a card for you from the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. And this is the message that the universe wants you to have about your soulmate. Okay? So, universe, whatever message you want the people listening to have about their soulmate. And hopefully this should resonate with you whenever you listen to this. So if you listen to it the day it's recorded or 5 months later, it doesn't matter. When you hear this, it's when you need to hear it. So what message the universe would like you to have about your soulmate? And we're going to see. And 2 cards came out, so I'm going to read both of them. And the first one is Mother Fierce. Mother Fierce is your guardian. Nothing can penetrate the passionate fire of her fearless love. Your safety is assured. In the midst of any apparent challenge or threat, no matter how frightening it may seem, no matter how insecure you might feel about taking a step on your spiritual path into more power, know that you are safe, you are protected, you are loved. So, yeah, again, I said that, in my life, being in that soulmate relationship and it ending is what caused me to step into my path and step into my purpose, to seek out something more than what I was. And that took a lot of courage because a lot of things have happened. Like I have a website, I started a business, I have a podcast. And if you would have told me this 8 months ago, I would have laughed and told you were a liar. Like, no, I would never do anything like that. I would never have a podcast. I'm not brave enough to do that. And yet here we are. So again, maybe your relationship is trying to teach you something and trying to give you the courage to do that which you were afraid to do before. Maybe stepping into your purpose. So the second card I got was Mother of Mercy. It says, dispensations of mercy come when we are without recourse, ending a cycle of manipulation, unkindness, or unconsciousness. This spiritual assistance is offered to you now from a place of loving respect, kindness, and great spiritual power. Blessings to Kuan Yin, Mother of Mercy, who watches over us with attentive love and cares for our spiritual progress. So that's another thing that kept coming up, and maybe something I need to mention too, is we're all ending cycles right now. With this new moon, it's always the ending of something. And it could be that you're ending the cycle of how you deal or how you dealt with people in relationships previously. Do you have healthy boundaries? And you're setting them, because we teach people how to treat us by how we set our boundaries. And I know that I did not have healthy boundaries before at all. I would let people walk all over me. And not everybody, but just in a relationship, yeah, I let people walk all over me. Ending, manipulation, unkindness. Do you have people in your life who do that? I mean, people who try to control you and manipulation, that is the lowest energy, because we have free will, and you should never be trying to control anyone else. If you are sending out love and light and you are in a high vibration, you don't need to control what other people do. And it's none of our business anyway what other people do. And so trying to manipulate someone, that's not cool at all. And when you're in a different space, that might seem like the thing to do, like, oh, I need to, try to control this person. But when you're in that space of true love and light, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to try to control. You don't need to try to constantly contact somebody, because you just know that the universe has your back and they're going to provide for you. And whatever is meant for you is not going to pass you by. So don't be that desperate person who's constantly reaching out and texting and doing whatever. That's a fear-based action. If you are constantly texting someone and constantly have to control someone, that's fear-based. When you truly love someone, and you know that you do, you don't have to do anything, because if they don't come back to you, then it wasn't meant for you. And you can still send love to that person and be in love and light, and it's okay. I mean, yeah, those things hurt a little, but it's okay, because you know something better is coming, because the universe does not ever leave us without. We're not ever going to be in lack or without. If the person we were expecting doesn't come back in, it's not because the universe is being mean and stingy and whatever. It's not because of that. It's because we always ask this or better. This or better. So if that person isn't coming back to you, it's not because, don't take it personally, like, oh, it's something I did. Know that the universe wants the very best for you. So there's probably somebody better. And don't get caught up in that. And I think all natural things take their own course. So like I said, if it's meant for you, it's going to come back around. I used to think, well, if it's over, it's over. Now I know our lives have been mapped out, and the universe has our back. The universe knows what we need when we need it. So if it didn't, if it ended, it doesn't mean it can't come back around again. It's just there had to be a lesson that we learned. When that lesson was learned, then it might come back around if it's the right timing. It's all about the universe and timing and what's meant for us. The main thing is, don't stress about it. Just don't stress about it. Live in the moment. Be happy. Know that whatever you want is coming. If you don't have that soulmate yet, just imagine what it would be like if you did, and thank the universe for bringing that person to you, because it's going to happen. It's just all about divine timing. Maybe your soulmate needs to work on stuff too. Maybe they need to go through lessons like I did. You don't want to have them when it's too soon and you're not ready. Maybe they need to mature, learn some lessons, and then they'll be ready for you. The universe wants it when it's perfect for you. And just know that it will happen. It won't pass you by. So I hope that was helpful. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. If you like my podcast, please share it with friends. Please like the podcast on iTunes. Give me some stars, leave comments or feedback. I always appreciate that. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Check out my website if you're interested in Reiki or a purposeful pilgrimage. There's a special right now going on, a fall special. It's only $52 right now, and it's normally $88, so go check that out. If you're interested in any doTERRA essential oils, you need to stay healthy this winter, go check that out too. Giving some love out to Florida, because I just got back from Florida and the weather was fantastic and I loved it, and I really want to move to Florida now. So no offense to the Midwest, but I had a great trip. I love you guys, sending you massive love and light, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.